Welcome to Spareka on YouTube in the world of home appliances. We're focusing on a washing machine and we'll explain the three main reasons why a machine doesn't start. The initial reason why the washing machine may not start is due to the absence of a display. So if I have no display whatsoever when I intend to press the button, I will request a startup and no manipulation will be possible. The display will not occur and I will have no command. So there, I'll check the power outlet right away. After ensuring my device is properly plugged in and the outlet it's connected to is working, meaning we can test it with a lamp, coffee maker, or any small household appliance to see if the outlet is functional. As long as all this works and the sector enters the device properly, we will have to see what is happening inside the device. So, in order to do that, I'm going to remove the top part from here, and then I'm going to go and see where my anti-parasite is located, which is always at the back. Easy to find. You have power cord going into device, and on the other side, you have the anti-parasite. So there you go. We have the power cord coming in. The cord from the outlet supplies 230V. The cord, here we see the two blue and brown wires that come from the power outlet, neutral and phase wiring. And so I must have 230V at the input of my surge protector, and I must have 230 volts at the output on the second connector, and there it is, the white and black wire. So that's to be checked. Be cautious when checking the device. It's powered on. I wear protective gloves to prevent cuts and accidental activation of shocks if I touch wrong wire. So, before plugging in my cables, I'm going to use my multimeter here to measure the voltage coming out of the power outlet, which is 230V AC. So I will turn my button here to go put on 600 volts of alternating current, the letter V with the small wave symbol next to it. So currently, I am at a total of 0, and I am going to connect my wires into the input of my surge protector. So we connected our wires that come from our multimeter directly to the input of our surge protector on the blue and brown wires, so neutral and phase, that come from the power cord here. And we have put our notes on the entrance here, on the blue and the brown, and so we see that we have 238V, so no problem. The power outlet gives these 238V, and the power cord is not cut since it arrives well at the entrance of the surge protector. Now, we will have to check that we have the same value at the output of the anti-parasitic, so we put our multimeter cables at the output on the white plug, on the white and black wires, at the output of our suppressor, which is located here. And we also realize that we have 240 volts or 237 volts. So that means our parasite is working correctly. If the spark plug wire was severed, and if it was the reason for this breakdown, we would have a 0 reading at this point. To clarify, there would be no display and no voltage, thus enabling us to implicate the suppressor in the incident. So we remove the suppressor, since in this case it is in good condition, the input 230V, the output 230V, then the wires will come here along the machine to enter the front panel on the control board. We will need to check the continuity of these wires to make sure that the 230V is reaching the board properly. So, if that's not the case, it means that the wires can be cut. If so, I find 250V on the board. In this case, the control card must be implicated. We'll remove the headband, we'll check that. We've opened our control panel, and we'll now locate our two wires coming from the output of the suppressor, namely the white wire and the black wire. We will locate them on the map. These are thick white and black threads. We see them here. There is the white wire coming here and the black wire coming here. So always with the multimeter, our two probes, we will obviously measure if we have 230 volts. Consequently, our plan is to insert it within these two pins to guarantee optimal performance and a reliable connection. So we understand in this particular situation that I do not have the 230 volts. indicating that there is a wire break between the output of my surge protector and the connections on the board. At this moment, we are required to examine the cables and inspect the wiring meticulously to ensure they are functioning correctly and in optimal condition. There is definitely a cut. The second case, I am still in the same place. I check, I look at my multimeter, and I have 237 volts. That is to say, I have the output voltage of my suppressor on my control card. In this instance, I can place the blame on the control card. Now let's take a look at our second case. Our machine has been powered on. The display is currently present and can be seen. I'm going to start my machine and see what happens. In our case, the machine will not take any water. We need to find out why she isn't taking water. Okay? If it doesn't take water, we should know on the display. We'll see what happens. We will launch the program. So we choose our program. Here we are on GIN, then we launch. So what is important is that we have the door security light working properly, because that too can be a flaw. If the door security does not appear, we can blame the door security. We'll listen if water comes in. We heard the solenoid valve make a small opening sound, but apparently there's no water entering the device, because we can hear the water entering the device clearly. So we'll wait a few minutes. Here is the error code 4E, which indicates a fault in the water inlet system. In this case, check water arrival, solenoid valve. That the pipe is not bent, that's what we're going to see. There, you have a 4-hour code that appears after a few minutes of operation, and the machine goes into drain before stopping. In case the water does not reach the washing machine, and in addition, this washing machine gives you the error code that corresponds to the breakdown, we will go and check from the water supply, from the tap. Here, in this particular case, the tap is closed, so it is obvious that there is no water. If water does not enter the device will lock. Another issue you may encounter is a bent water inlet pipe, which can impede the flow of water into the device. It can be like this. There you go. What are the causes of the water no longer flowing? And this can occur if you come to perform cleaning, clean behind the appliance, and push the appliance against the wall, causing the hose to become stuck. This is the second thing that can prevent water from entering the device. The third thing to check, after checking that the hose is not pinched or bent, is to check if your faucet is working properly. For this, I equipped myself with a tray that I will put underneath. I'm going to remove my hose, so no need for pliers. It tightens and loosens by hand. Do not look for a joint on the faucet head either. The joint is situated inside right here, and it does not go away or vanish. So especially do not put a second one, you will have a leak. And so here we are going to bring the container closer, and we are going to let it flow to see if we have power, because a faucet that doesn't tighten ends up getting clogged, and as it gets clogged, the flow will become weaker and weaker. If the flow rate is not sufficient, well, your washing machine will fill up too much, take too long to fill up, and therefore, there you see that we have a very good power. There is no problem with the faucet, so the problem does not come from there. Fourth point, we have filters that are in the pipe, and there is very often one, we will look at it later, at the level of the solenoid valve, but there can also be one at the beginning, just behind the tap, at the start of the pipe. So we have one here. We need to regularly remove it from here. So using a pair of pliers, we are going to retrieve it, take it out. There you go. And it is a small sieve that functions exactly like the aerators on your faucets. It takes the limestone, it takes the impurities, and it ends up clogging, just like the aerators of your faucets. So if it's blocked, well, obviously, your flow will be greatly disturbed, potentially even completely stopped, and your washing machine will not be able to fill up with water. So I place my pipe back on in this location, which I will tighten by hand. That is adequate. You must ensure that there are no leaks present. There you go. Simply squeezing it by hand is enough. So my faucet is good. It has a good flow. For now it is closed. My filter here is clean. I'm going to go see the filter behind the machine at the entrance of the solenoid valve. So, the same thing, I unscrew my hose at the back of the machine. There you go. I have the same thing here. And I check to see if there is no filter. Okay? So it's important to check that there is no filter in that place. He can be there, he can be at the faucet, he can be on both. Now I have another filter anyway that is located inside the solenoid valve. So I also have a filter inside here. If it's not on the pipe, it's there. There you go. In this location, I possess a filter of the same faucet aerator style that needs to be checked regularly and examined carefully to ensure we can see through it and that the holes are unclogged. At the moment, it is clean, so I will have the ability to reinsert it. To put filter back into solenoid valve. There you go, and I can tighten my water inlet pipe to make sure it's secure. The final factor that can impede water from entering the device is the solenoid valve. So the solenoid valve is electrically controlled by the control board. So when the device starts, we hear the small click of the solenoid valve opening, and we normally hear the water entering the device. It is possible that this solenoid valve is defective. To address this issue, we kindly request you to refer to the videos that provide guidance on troubleshooting, replacement, testing, and proper installation of the solenoid valve. Finally, if the water enters the machine correctly, it will go through this pipe into the product box. So make sure to regularly check the condition of your product box. It must be clean, and the pipe there obviously mustn't be blocked. It can occur on machines that have been in use for a few years, so in that case, we can easily remove the blockage by using vinegar. We put vinegar in the product box, and we will be able to dismantle here. Here you have a necklace. Withdraw possible. Put vinegar in the pipe to eliminate limescale and remove the pipe. We will initiate the device. We'll select a program. So now it's about Gene. We turn on the device. You'll hear the small click of the solenoid valve as the water enters the device. Let's go. We can hear the water entering the washing machine. It is significant. The water goes through the detergent drawer and down into the drum. So we can clearly hear the dripping of water. What might be the possible reasons why your device is not starting? The first thing, it can be a water level problem. That is to say, the water level that should be in the device is not detected by the device. Water level detected by pressure switch. Level will rise in tank due to detection by switch located here. He will compress the air that is present in the pipe at this particular location. So the water level will rise. As the water level will stop at about half of the tank, here you will only have air. If the pipe was blocked, that would mean either the compression chamber, which is slightly lower, or the pipe needs to be cleaned or replaced. If all of this is in good condition, it could be the presosta that is experiencing a problem. Therefore, in this case as well, we will furnish you with the test and change links for the presosta. If the level is good, there is only one thing that can prevent the device from starting. It is a problem with the drum rotation. In this location, we possess the drum crown set and engine belt. It is evident that we must examine the engine's performance, but before anything else, ensure that the drum is not stuck. If you take the crown and can't move it, it means that your bearings are seized and will need to be replaced. If the crown rotates smoothly, it is an indication that there is no problem with the bearing mechanism. It is possible that you may have a belt that has the potential to be broken, or that could simply come loose. If this is the case, the engine will spin freely, and the last reason is the engine itself. The engine which may have brushes, either the engine may be blocked due to a leak, for example, or something like that. It has rusted. In that case, I wouldn't be able to turn either. The tank's crown and the shaft of the motor would not rotate. Either the engine is not receiving proper power or the brushes of the motor. There are brushes located on this engine. The engine brushes may be worn out. And once again, we have videos that we will provide you with links to go see the engine test, the changes made to the bearings, and the process of belt change. Here, we have explained the various possibilities of a device, namely a washing machine that does not start. On the new devices of this generation, as shown previously, you have Code Enthusiast displayed on the digital display. On some others, a little older, you have LEDs that light up, stay on or blink. And on other very old ones where there is no pan code at all. And there you will have to do exactly what you were told, listen, detect and test the different parts. We hope this video will be useful to you. Feel free to join us on Spareka on YouTube. Do not hesitate to give a thumbs up, which confirms that you like these videos, and to ask your questions about usage, maintenance or technical matters. We will not fail to respond as quickly as possible. See you soon on Spareka on YouTube.